I was like supposed to be babysitting, even though I'm only a year older than them, but Tim at their house.
This was the 80s.
So I was 12 and Lauren and Timmy were 11 and Kelly was like 6, 7. And Timmy was convinced that there was somebody out in the bushes of their house. Convinced. And so he got out like a huge carving knife and was like walking around the house like he was going to protect us all.
This is very much like in college when he ate a bunch of pot brownies and then rented Event Horizon. And by the end of the night, he had locked himself in a closet and wouldn't come out because he was so scared.
No, listen, I can corroborate that story. I had just as many pot brownies. There was something in those because I don't know. I'm not.
Well,
sure
Event Horizon is not a great pot brownie movie to watch.
No,
I was terrified.
There was also the time we took a bunch of shrooms and it happened to be Halloween. It was really fucked up walking around and seeing all the people in Halloween costumes because we weren't really sure if like there were giant mice walking around or people just dressed as mice. But anyway, later that night, Tim called home because he decided he was a bad person, and so he called home and wanted to move back home because college was making him a bad person. And his dad answered the phone, but his dad was hammered. And so Tim was like, "Dad, it's Tim. I want to come home." And his dad's like, "No, Tim isn't living here right now. He's away at college."
We were on out on Long Island. The Converys had a beach house, and we were in this little like secret room, all 4 of us sleeping in there. And Tim decided that he was going to scare us all with a ghost story. And was telling us all this ghost story, but he was sleeping under the windows. But by the time of his ghost story, he had scared himself so badly that he couldn't even sleep, was laying there.
Yeah.
Terrified.
Kept all of us awake because Tim now has scared himself so bad that he can't sleep. What about in San Diego when he was crying hysterically on the stairs of your apartment?
I don't remember that. What was that?
And Kelly was
all
like,
good
Tim,
drinking nights with
shut
Tim
the
and with
fuck
him
up.
crying.
Kelly's yelling at him, Timmy, shut the fuck up. And he's like, Kelly, what do you want me to do this in my life?
He came up to visit me at Syracuse one year and got really hammered. So this was like 2004, sort of at the height of the Gulf War. And he's like, our troops are dying over there. I'm gonna join up, man. I gotta go over and do my part. And he's like crying about how he's gonna join the army.
Dude, for sure. I thought it was Jessica from like 18 to 27.
Yeah.
And then Lauren
from 27 to present.
Well, Melissa was snuck in there, right in between the two.
Oh, if we're doing a timeline of people that Tim has dated, so this McElwee here would be Jessica, and Ken here would be Lauren, and Melissa would be the Tim in this timeline.
Yes, that's exactly. That's perfect.
Hey, Mike Gorsuch, do you have any good Tim stories?
There was one time. It's kind of stupid, but we went over, we all got drunk. This was back, I think, 98, 99. And we all went over to Tim's house, parents' house, and we were trashed. And for some reason, I went into their freezer and found like a frozen pork loin and said, "I'm taking this home with me." So I stole their pork loin. I shoved it down my pants. And I think his mom drove us home. And I'm like freezing.
Pork loin in your pants? Oh my God, that's amazing.
Mike, how have I never heard this story before? That's fucking phenomenal.
How did we never hear this story?
Because I didn't want to tell it. I'm embarrassed about it. But now, who cares?
Man,
did you grill it up the next day? Was it good?
Well, irony is I got really sick the next day. Like I had a fever. Like was God paying me back for stealing?
You were
Thou shalt not steal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get back to this one here because we have You Got Macked, which I think has been a lot of emotional moments for you getting macked over the years. But let's talk a little bit about What Game. Been a long time now, going back a long ways to when Tim forgot about the 2005 National Championship game. Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Vince Young, Pete Carroll, Mac Brown, just Hall of Famers down the line, and Tim, no idea about the game whatsoever. What has it meant to you over the years to live with that burden of being friends with someone who forgot about that game?
Yeah, it's emotional. It's emotional. I haven't been there from the origin of it, sitting next to non-meth Tom at longboards in San Diego, enjoying a plate of wings. I can clearly see that day in my brain. I'm thinking about it right now. I remember where we were sitting at the bar. I remember texting Tim about God knows what. Eventually got on to, are you excited for the game? I had no idea that response would come. I don't think anybody could have possibly seen it coming. And for it to have endured all these years is just really special. I think similar to the Cassidy Orange picking itself up and moving on, mixed with the complete lack of self-awareness of Dan Sullivan. Similar here, that combination, Tim, just continues to plow forward with no care in the world. And I think that says something about his character. I think it says a little bit more about the picture. And I'm really looking forward to seeing where this photo goes.
Well, I think it's a very human experience that we wake up every day and don't know what day is going to be life-changing for us. And for Tim, it was that day. And we have a very special guest here that I think can tell the story maybe a little better than we can.
Let's do it.
What if I told you the story of a man who claims to have some elementary knowledge of sports, who suggested to have some rooting interest or passion for college football? What if I told you that same man had absolute ignorance and lack of awareness for the playing of perhaps the greatest game in the 150 plus year history of college football? Would you believe such a man existed? What would you think of him? How would you judge him? What would you tell him? How much would you pity him? Tom Rinaldi here, formerly of ESPN and now with Fox Sports. That man exists. Oh, yes, he does. Tim O'Shea. And for those who know him and love him, his friends and his family, they have held this one moment against him and sent him on a long journey seeking redemption, hoping for validation, yearning for forgiveness. Tim, I don't think you'll ever receive it because you don't deserve it. It's not just that you had a bad moment, Tim, or that you do bad things, Tim, but a moment this bad means you're a bad person, Tim, even on your birthday. Tim, from Tom Rinaldi, who's made a life out of telling stories, thank goodness this is one tale we won't ever share nationwide. Happy birthday, my brother.
Now, Mac, we having just seen the video. Are you gonna be okay? Do you need some time?
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't want to say much. I think I'd like to let the video speak for itself. It meant a lot. I think it summed up what we were all thinking. Who can say it better than Tom Rinaldi? He's
America's storyteller.
He articulated exactly what's been in all of our heads and our hearts for the last 16 years. Well done. Well done.